Welcome in to this edition of the Cavalier Connection. I'm Jeff, joined by Jay. How you doing tonight, Jay?
Doing well, living in the land of the portal.
Oh
News
yeah.
just 24/7. I mean, you don't sleep. I
Oh
just
no.
stay on X. What's going on X
Oh
right
yeah.
now?
Yeah. I mean, Adam Schefter could get a full time gig as a UVA insider. So much action going on, but of course, that's all college basketball. But yeah, named a episode Cavalier Rebuild, roster moves, coaching updates, and more. I hope it's not a rebuild. I hope it's a retool, but it'll be a retool with all brand new players. Before we get started, though, Jay, real quick, I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners. We have hit the 300 subscriber mark, which is a big deal to us old folks. So if you're one of the 300, we truly appreciate your support. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, it's just super easy. Hit that subscribe button. You can go ahead and hit that now. I'm sure you're on YouTube checking us out as we continue bringing you top notch or notch coverage of our beloved Virginia Cavaliers. Um, and real quick, we also wanted to talk about our friends over at Menser. So I do want to share this photo right here. Um, Look at our friend, new coach
Oh
Ryan Odom.
wow,
He knows how
yeah,
to get out on the corner, don't he, Jay?
yeah.
That's where was he
He
hanging
knows all
out?
about the corner. Don't you
That's
know
right. This
that?
weekend, hanging out this weekend, Ryan Odom, and I'm sure he's been a customer there a time or two, as you saw from our opening clip there with him and his as a kid. The famous photo of him shooting basketball at University Hall. So I'm sure he's bought a thing or two from Mincers. And if I had to guess, I'd bet that shirt he's wearing in that photo came from where, Jay?
There's a real good shot that came from Mencers. I mean,
From
I'm gonna
Mincers.
say it's about as good as my 3-point percentage when I'm left open, Jeff, and that's nearly 100. I
Oh
mean,
my! I
bucket.
digress. And Jay's a walking bucket on the 18-foot church league basketball. No, I'm just playing. Well, with that, so moving on, basketball. We've had I think, interesting thing today. I was watching Hootie, Jerry Radcliffe's podcast today, and Jerry Miller was talking about coming on the air. If you go to VirginiaSports.com and you go to the Virginia men's basketball roster, there's not a person listed.
No one?
No one's listed. He said nobody's listed. I haven't even,
Trust
fact
but
checked that,
verify?
but I agree. But when this Jerry and Jerry, I trust, and without the verification, and
Sure.
really, there's only one person on the roster two who have
2.
not entered the portal, which is Gertrude and Saunders.
Right.
But yeah, it's just blanks, and we know now that there's two players that are not coming back. Blake Buchanan committed to Iowa State and Day Day Ames to Cal today. And before I get your takes real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and come on here and give a little apology to Blake Buchanan. I wish him the best of luck. And I said that last episode when we were grading players. I do wish him the best of luck. I think I may have graded him a hair harsh. I would raise him up to a passing score. I failed him. I joined him up with a passing score. He wasn't very good for us this year. At all. He had a couple moments.
I thought this was an apology.
It's an apology. It's an apology because I
He
shouldn't have
wasn't
failed
good
him.
at all.
He had a couple moments this
He
season, so I
did.
shouldn't have failed him. And I
He
wish
did.
him the best at Iowa State. I really do. I mean, I like him. He can't help it, you know. But and then Day Day Ames going to Cal. We're going to see him back in
Mhm.
Charlottesville at some point, so that's quite interesting. So I just will just start right there, Jay. Any quick reactions to any of that?
Well, I mean, it may sound harsh, but, you know, I look at the loss of Blake as, on the court only. This is not a personal take at all because I don't know Blake at all. I'm sure he is a fine gentleman. Everyone we've ever talked to, with, the program, any program at Virginia has been top-notch human. So I doubt that he's any different. But from a basketball perspective, I think it's addition by subtraction. Um, he just didn't necessarily develop in year two that we thought he would. You know, when he had that huge game against Florida, everybody thought, "Oh my God!" And I think I threw the name Mike Tobey out there, you know, because he kind of reminded me of a young Mike Tobey, and I wish he would have been, you know, the next Mike Tobey, but you know, wasn't to be. For Day Day, you know, hate to see him leave. I think he's like a guy that can get you a bucket in no time when you need it, but you know, again, I panic about this roster for no one. That includes iMac. That includes, you know, Rhodey. Um, I don't panic about any of them because, to be honest, there's 1,500 players around about in the portal from what I heard. I don't know if that's the accurate number or not, but I mean, you know, there's players all over the country. It's really going to come down to construction of roster that fits Coach Odom's system. You can't go out and get all 5-star guys in the portal that are just, you know, you can't get a roster of 12 guys that want to play right now. You still got to build a roster a little bit. Um, and I see we got another comment, Jeff. I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to
I
throw
wanted to
them.
start with this one. We have 2 comments, but,
Yeah,
I'm
it was
starting with
true.
this one.
Didn't grow like we needed to. Couldn't
Uh,
agree more,
he may have,
Sean.
I don't know if, Sean's saying, my grade was actually true the other night, uh, but either way, he didn't grow like we needed him to. And then as we were talking about Day Day and, Philip Sims,
Yeah, and the cardiac.
not former quarterback Philip Sims, Mallory will lock up Day Day. So,
I mean,
when they come to town.
if you're asking me who I'd rather have, of course I'd rather have Mallory.
Yep.
So I mean, who would you rather have? The kid from VCU,
Jennings.
Jennings or Ames? And from everything I'm reading, I'd probably say Jennings. So you look at Blake. Would you rather have Blake or Bamboye from VCU if you can get him? I'd rather have Bamboye. So I mean, you know, so far addition by subtraction. We haven't locked those guys up yet. So you know, in the portal, nothing. I mean, at one point, IMAC was a lock to go to UNC. He
Yep.
was a lock to go to Louisville. Now Tennessee's in the picture. I still think there's a good chance Virginia can get him back. Um, because why would you want to leave for your senior year when you've helped and you've been here? You know, it's that Virginia degree means something. I don't know how close he is. I would assume if he doesn't already have his bachelor's, if he already has it, then maybe he does go. But if he doesn't, I mean, wouldn't you want to get your degree from Virginia instead of Tennessee? Nothing against Tennessee, but I mean, you've spent your time here. You built a program, and Odom is a Virginia guy. Like I know he's a Bennett guy, but let's not pretend, you know, that he's not a Virginia guy.
I Yeah. I don't. I'm in agreement with Philip Sims here. IMAC will not be returning. Is my confident guess. I don't think IMAC's coming back. I think Tennessee's gonna, as they say, back up the Brink truck. And if I'm IMAC, I'm going to the highest bidder because the odds of me as an NBA player are tough. And so I'm gonna get my payday when I can get it. So I think
Sure.
he's gonna. And he could. And shoot, this is 4th year. He may, even if he doesn't have his degree yet, he may get his degree from Virginia, before going wherever he decides to go. He might, if he might need 2 summer classes, or I mean, I have no
Right.
idea where he
Right.
just knocked out. He could be in Tennessee and take his classes at Virginia and dual enrollment, online class, and
I
be
don't know,
done.
Jeff. I think there's at least a decent little chance that we could get him back. I'm not sold that he's gone yet. Um, but we'll see. I mean, of all the roster, we talked about this. I don't know if it was the last show, but if I'm grading who I'd want back, I'd list them in the order I would want them would be IMAC, Kofi, and Robinson. Um, I think probably it's gonna be hard to keep Kofi from going back to the West Coast. Robinson's name has been leaked with a bunch of names, schools. We know he visited, I believe, Stanford is what was reported. Now we know sometimes reported things aren't necessarily true either, but so if I don't think money's going to be an issue though. If IMAC wants money, I think if he went and said this is the number, will you match it? I don't know that UVA wouldn't. I mean, I don't think money's an issue.
I think we're good on money, but we do have to put together a whole brand new roster. I don't know, but uh, I'm with Sean on this one as well. I wish he would come back. I wish he's the one guy. And we just said it, especially in this system and a little more free flowing. The opportunity. I mean, you see what he did in the back half of the year on some of those games. If he has guys who can create to free him up, where he doesn't have to create and can just shoot that three ball. I mean, what did he have against Georgia Tech? 27.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, he
something
had a
like
few
that.
games in the mid 20s, and
And
that
he
was a
got
really
hot late.
he did he did.
I
Um,
would say this, and because the comment said avoiding the rebuild. I'm of the ilk that this is not a rebuild. It may be a rebuild as far as the roster, but it's not a rebuild as in the program, as in the dumps. And we've got, I mean, with the portal, I mean, look at Louisville. They went from winning what, 3 ACC games or something of that nature
yeah,
to winning 17 or 18, whatever it was. And so, you get the right coach and you get the right players. I think you can compete with everybody outside of Duke. And if
I
Flag
agree.
leaves, which he
Yeah.
probably will, and of course Duke's always going to have really good players, and but this year they're special. I don't think they're always going to be special like they are this year. I hope the conference is more balanced. I think Will Wade at NC State is going to be very good. He's going to get really good players because he can cheat legally now. Is not cheating anymore. He can just pay them. Um, so I think he's going to be a real problem. And then UNC is going to always get good players. Just a matter of can they coach them up. Louisville seems to have turned a corner, got the right coach. They're a blue blood program. Um, so the ACCs might be down this year, but I don't think they stay down long.
Duke's got quite good amount good recruits, I should say, coming in next year as well. They got those Boozer brothers coming in. Um, so they
Carlos's kids.
yep. And so
How are we that old, Joe?
I know.
Daggone. I mean, when did Boozer have them?
I know. Couple 5 stars. Was it Boozer's kids were on the one of the funnier incidents on NBA was on a Sunday afternoon and the Bulls were playing LeBron James, and I guess he was with the Heat at that time, and Boozer's playing, and they showed Boozer's kids up in the stands. They were probably like 7 or 8, and they were going nuts when LeBron James was scoring, and it's just funny because what's his face was announcing the game. Former Knicks coach Van Gundy,
Oh,
Not
okay.
Stan, but Jeff Van Gundy, and it's
Yeah.
just funny his reaction. He said, "There's no way my kids will be up in the stands acting like that." And I don't remember what he said. He said something, funny at the time, but yeah,
Yeah.
now here we go. They're Duke bound, and so
Shire seems to have them. I don't think he's like a one hit wonder. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be really good.
yeah,
Cam Boozer is the real deal. I haven't seen the Boozers play at all. Were they McDonald's All Americans? Because if
yeah,
so,
5 star. They were highly
I
recruited.
think that was announced tonight. If I'm correct.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, ACC. We'll see what it does next year. But like you said, Virginia can turn it around really quick. I don't consider this a rebuild. It's not like 1997 if your coach left and which guys just didn't all transfer out at that point either. But if a guy got fired or wasn't retained as Ron Sanchez was, the program would have some couple years of suffering because you got to recruit to get the guys in. And then the thing about it was guys would stick around and you could build a team off of that. And that's kind of what Tony Bennett did early on. But then, at the end, guys were just transferring out. This is why he's not there anymore, because of what college basketball is now.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine tell me this was probably around the time that we won the championship. It might have been maybe a year or two after, but he said our program was going to be the Maryland when Gary Williams won it. Like,
Mm,
yeah, you were good for a little bit. You went to a Final Four, you won it, but you're not a blue blood, just like Maryland. Everybody, they were good for a while. Steve Blake, Juan Dixon, those guys, they got a title, but those were special players.
hmm
When the special players leave, you're not a special program like a Duke or a Carolina, Kentucky, whatever. You're going to fall back to what you were and what you always have been. And I thought Bennett, um, I thought we'd have a little more success after that title run, but we've talked about COVID came in the next year, and I mean we just lost all momentum with that, and then with the NIL and the transfer portal stuff coming out, or shortly after, it just really everything that we did to build to finally win the title. It's like that was really the end of the era. I think Tony Bennett said it was the last amateur championship.
mm.
Because pretty much from that point on, you had, some form of money exchanging hands, I think. So it's going to be hard to do it. I'm going to say it's going to be impossible to do it the way that Tony Bennett did it.
Oh yeah, it
So
didn't. Hmm
we just have to embrace this every year, enjoy the roster that you have that year, get to know them as best you can. I mean, have, hopefully they stick around, but if not, wish them the best. Just like Blake and Day Day, no ill will. I hope they go out there and do really well in their schools. I hope Rhodey, wherever he ends up, all these guys. As long as they don't go to a rival, then I'm not rooting for them because I just won't do it.
Even UConn won back-to-back national titles, and Danny Hurley, and I'm not a Danny Hurley fan at all, but it was talking about half his team is considering the portal. It's crazy.
Well, you
Yeah.
remember last year with Calipari? What's this comment? No, talk about Calipari.
Odom is cooking. He really aggressive in the portal right now. I think we have a really good chance at Nick Davidson, and I was going to bring him up in just a moment. The
Center from Nevada.
center from Nevada. I have seen that as well. That Virginia's got a really good shot at him. One of those, I don't remember which site it was, but one of those college basketball, prognosticators or whatever, is very high on Virginia potentially getting him. When
Well, I
you
saw
look
the
at it,
reason today. Did you see that?
I didn't.
So apparently he wants to go to law school, and
Uh,
Virginia's law school is obviously top tier. And so that is a strong consideration as to why he would choose us. From what I hear, we're top 2, even though it's listed
yep.
top 5. So we'll see if we get him.
So
I think there's a good
really,
shot.
so really, you're saying we can save our NIL money for other players because he's gonna get a law degree, and so
One
his
day, Jeff, he'll be paying our NIL with his salary.
that's right. Maybe he'll be that anonymous donor one day.
Yeah. But I was gonna say about Calipari, if you remember his press conference with Arkansas, I met with the team. There is no team.
Right. That's funny. Ryan Odom goes in the locker room, ain't nobody there. Elijah Saunders and Elijah Gertrude are sitting there on the edge of
What
their
are you
seat
guys
looking at
cleaning the
coach.
carpets?
Yeah. I was gonna bring up Davidson. And you've already talked about Jennings and Bamboye from VCU as potential portal guys.
And I like that Jennings is a Virginia kid.
Yep.
And I can't remember who. I want to say it was maybe the Wahoo Central podcast. I like to give credit when I can. But those guys, I want to say it was them, were saying that they thought that Odom would have more of a Virginia feel to his roster, kind of recruit in state. And I saw today where we offered a kid out of Richmond. Can't remember
Yeah,
the name, but uh, so I would love to see more Virginia kids on the roster. But ultimately, it's again comes down to talent and who wants to be a Virginia Cavalier. You
that's
know,
right. Chance Mallory does. Chance is in that locker
absolutely,
room. He's been in the locker room for a long time.
yeah.
So yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
pretty.
Carla, for keeping
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Um, and then also when you look at some of these guys that are in the portal that are potentially coming to Virginia. It's just interesting when I look at their numbers. Their numbers look so huge compared to what Virginia basketball numbers look like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like IMAX averaged 14 a game, but that's out of Virginia basketball. A leading scorer is going to be has been 14, 15, and I think we're about to maybe somebody will cook it up a little bit.
Oh
Like
yeah,
we talked to Norman Nolan his senior year. He averaged how much? 21 a game.
21. He went from 12 as a junior to 21 as a senior.
So why can't IMAC come back and go from 14 to 24
Now,
as a
I don't see
senior?
why he couldn't. That would be yeah, that'd be impressive.
That'd be
He's gonna
great.
have the green light and he's gonna play
That's
plenty
right.
of minutes.
That's right.
And they're gonna play fast.
They're going to get more opportunities to shoot the ball. If you score 27 in the old offense, that's what at least as the
It equates
announcers always
to
say a 10
Jeffy,
point 10
it
point
used
lead.
it used to be the old joke. This 4-point lead against
Yeah,
with Virginia feels like 20.
yeah.
Now it's gonna be this 20-point lead for Virginia feels like about 6.
I know. And McNeely that 27 equals about 37 or 40. But I think Ryan Odom they play some defense too. So
They do. And
yeah.
I hope they bring that in your face style. That was the one thing that
Mhm.
Jennings was really he was really aggressive on the defensive end with VCU. He was that guy that honestly, as an ODU fan, when you watch him, I'm sitting there thinking, this guy fouls this every possession he's fouling. He's
Right.
got his hands all over him. Call a foul. But you know, physical game, they let a lot of stuff go.
Also, Toledo transfer Sam Lewis didn't take a visit to Texas A&M today. I saw that on X as well. Some of the programs have reached out. Where one of them listed us, Gonzaga, Villanova, Xavier, another 16 point a game guy. I think he's um, damn, I lost my train of thought. But if you look, when you see these guys that are in the transfer portal, and we get to see most of what where Virginia has contacted. I mean, we've contacted as I think as Philip Sims said just a minute ago. He's cooking in the portal because he's contacting everybody.
Oh
Virginia's
yeah.
name is listed all over the place. Some of these guys who's contacted this guy, it'll be like 20 teams. And Virginia will get their name listed in there. So I don't know where we stand with a bunch of these guys. Plus, there's guys who's still in the Final Four. They're probably going to be entering that portal soon too. So but don't go get the 5-star off the bench at the end of the bench just because they play for Duke doesn't
Yeah, don't
mean,
do that.
and they're a 5-star doesn't mean that they are the answer to the program.
Yeah, don't do that. Can you imagine being the donor that said, "Hey, this guy's available. We can get him if we give him this much." And you put in your pockets for Mr. Power. Again, I hope he goes away and becomes the 5-star player that he was projected to be. But my gosh, if I'm the guy who gave whatever the dollar amount was, if I bought him a Big Mac to play for Virginia, I overpaid. I mean,
Sean stating the obvious for us.
yeah,
DJ
yeah.
Power. He's right about that.
If I
Yeah.
bought him a double Whopper, I'm upset.
Oh, he's got to get the minis from Burger King from back in the day.
Yeah,
The BK minis.
yeah.
What other any other transfers, guys, you want to talk about, Jay?
There's so many out there, and you'll hear names attached to us, and the bottom line is, last year I remember us sitting here in a dead panic. We got no one for weeks, it seemed. And then, Worley came. And then I forget the next domino, but it was like domino after domino. We said it last year. You're gonna be really excited um, about whoever shows up because they're probably gonna be a double digit score, and they're probably gonna, their highlight tape's gonna be great. It's just really gonna come down to what can Coach Odom do, and because I do think we'll field a competitive roster, and we were going to talk about that
I said we
comment.
were going to talk about that one, Philip. And it's the same thing in football. We after the end of last year, not going how we would hope, but the transfer portal opened up. Anonymous donor gave a ton of money.
Yeah.
And Jay, are you excited for football season?
Oh, I am stoked.
As am I.
Although the Mills injury,
That's a
man,
big
that one hit
deal.
me right in the heart because I was really looking forward to having just that mauler, NFL quality guy protecting the blind side.
Yeah.
And now, I think I went on Ball Hawks when he did one of his open mics and said, Boley's not the left tackle anymore. Well, now Boley might be the left tackle again. But if I'm Virginia, I'll be honest, I'm going to be really aggressive. And if I think a top notch tackle opens up in that portal, in the spring portal, I know you don't think it's a position of need, but now maybe you feel differently. I don't know because he was such a good get. I know we got a lot of depth and everything, but you lose him already projected for the year. That is just a brutal, brutal loss for the team.
Yep, no question. Um, I was just checking. Virginia baseball, I believe it's 10-5 versus ODU right now.
10-5. It
Sean said,
was 10-1 30
"I
minutes
know,
ago.
how these games go for us. Please, no more offensive line practice to gets us every spring." That's exactly what I told Jay when we saw Mills was injured. I said, "Man, it feels like last year all over again."
It's it's
Um,
it's frustrating.
yeah,
I'm just checking the Twitter sphere, make sure we don't have any DMs. We've been busy today trying to break stories and be story, but hopefully we'll have a GM soon, and we sure hope that it uh, is Mr. Staples, Curtis Staples. We've kind of sang his praises on here before, but that man, law school graduate, all time leading 3-point shooter at Virginia. I think it was top guy when his career ended. He's been passed
top guy in
now,
the
but
ACC history when his career ended.
yeah. Um, and just a great human being. Has been a great high school coach. He's won state championships at 2 different places, I think. Won a national championship at the high
He
school
did.
level as well. So hopefully Curtis Staples will get an interview, and I'm sure he'll knock that out of the park if and when he does.
Yeah, so pitching struggling in baseball, 7 walks. It's been the theme of the season.
Is it still? I gotta look that score up.
I
I
just
put
was
that one on the win column.
yeah, don't
At
put it
ten
in
to
the win
one, I
column
put that
yet.
in the win column.
Yeah, we're sitting in at 10 to 5 was what I saw just a moment ago.
Yeah, I don't know. If anybody's got a score they can give us in the comments, please do. If they have anything updated to that. What inning was it, Jeff?
It was I want to say up bottom 8 10-5. Thank you Cardiac Who's bottom 8 10
Thank you.
5.
Thank you, Cardiac.
Yep. So I'm hoping you sweep Stanford, you win 3 in a row and things it gets things going a little bit. Stanford, a top 25 baseball team, and we need to win baseball games, or we're going to be sitting at home at tournament time.
Right. That's the last
Wouldn't that
thing
be
this
a
program can really afford.
Wouldn't that be a disaster?
That would be an absolute disaster for a team that was, number 2 in the country when the preseason, polls came out.
Yeah.
To be unranked now, um, I did see somewhere somebody had us as a 3 seed right now. If we can stay around 500 in the ACC, I think we'll be in the tournament. This just seems to be the ACC so strong, but I
And
hated
can
to see
you
those idiots from Blacksburg went up and swept Wake Forest this weekend.
mm,
That was a
can you
horrible game to see.
imagine being in a bracket with Virginia as a 3?
I'd
You
be
gotta be
real
like
upset.
you gotta be like, "What did I do?" Yeah,
Right.
I'm a 1 seed and Virginia's the 3 in my bracket, but, on the flip side, we ain't done anything to earn, you know,
Yeah.
um, yeah, Cardiac Goose, the bats are figuring it out. The freshmen, Nunnally and James are strong points. I would say Teal's going to lead off as has worked for O'Connor. He hit that, he hit a home run tonight too, didn't he, David? I mean, Aiden Teal.
Yes. Yeah, Teal hit a bomb tonight.
That's right. At least we aren't Texas A&M. Did you see if you guys don't follow our counterpart Jack on X tonight? I think he's at J. I don't know what his
I
Twitter
don't
is.
Wahoo is it Wahoo Jack?
Wahoo Jack.
Oh
So this
06.
morning he
Okay.
posted something, and he really threw me for a loop. He said, "Did you see it?"
Yeah, I kept looking for like a link or something.
Yeah. He put in there, congratulations, something on the lines of congratulations to Virginia Tech on winning their first ever national title. And I'm sitting there like what
I was
sport's
thinking
going on?
Yeah, I was thinking of bass fishing or,
Yeah, yeah.
cow prodding or some.
And then it clicked to me. I'm like, wait a minute. It's April the 1st. Nothing like take a shot at Virginia Tech. I know there's a new Virginia Tech podcast out there. Have you seen it, Jay? I haven't looked at the podcast itself, but that our friend Antonio Appleby's been going back and forth with.
Oh, no, I haven't seen
Oh
that.
yeah, they're talking of all things the softball, and
Oh my
and
goodness.
then it was started off as softball, and then he's coming at Appleby about us not having a full stadium in football, and you know how those tech
The
guys go.
typical arguments.
Yep, yep. But
Mm.
yeah. So hopefully, this week some more news will be coming out on. Well, I'm sure there'll be something probably portal related, and we're hoping, as Jay was saying, maybe something on the lines of some news about Curtis Staples. Hopefully at some point. But I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some stuff coming out. Whether he gets an opportunity to interview for that job or get that job, we don't know. But we are pulling for him. So hopefully news on that. Portal news coming out during the week. Baseball hopefully is going to hold on tonight, 10-5 in the bottom of the eighth.
Do you
Anything
know
else,
who we
Jay?
have this weekend, Jeff?
I'm not even sure.
I hadn't looked that far ahead, and
Are
my
you going
kids
to the
want.
spring? Are you can't go to spring football, can you? Game.
I was going to tell you after we stopped recording, but I might as well tell you now. No, so my boy's got a school ceremony, National Junior Honor Society. He's being inducted, so um, I'm having to miss a game for that, and then the very next game is the spring game. So I'm like, I'd have to miss 2 baseball games in a row. I just
I
can't do
can't
that
go either.
as the
I
coach.
can't go. We got I now we have a baseball game we originally didn't have. Philip says I'm sure the VCU guys will come out on around Friday, maybe later, but still early in the portal. Won't expect much soon from other guys. I'm thinking the VCU guys as well. Um,
As
pretty
long as the money's right, there's no reason to think they wouldn't.
right,
I
right.
mean,
Yeah. So yep, a lot to look forward to. Spring football game is only 2 weeks away, a little less than 2 weeks away.
yep,
And like we were just saying, portal news. Baseball's up 11-5 now, so that's good news.
love
And
to hear it.
softball walked it off today, right?
They did walk it off. That could have been a Mentzer's moment for us as well, but
Yep.
yeah, big walk off win against Maryland.
So softball's rolling, baseball hopefully getting things put back together.
Lacrosse has got to
Basketball,
figure some things out,
yeah, they do.
but yeah, um, I think the schedule for lacrosse has been so difficult. Every week you're
Yeah,
playing a top 10 team, it seems like, and they're right there. They're losing, 10-8, or I think against Syracuse, or 12-10, or something like that. I mean, they've had some tough losses, but no doubt they've got their every opportunity to do something special.
Oh, cool. They'll be at the
I'm
VCU
gonna
game.
I gotta see what day of the week that is. I think is that at the Diamond, Sean? Are they playing that at the Diamond? If they are, and I am available, then I will be at that game as well.
What day is that one on?
That's what I'm waiting to see. I've got to look it up. I knew they were going there soon. I'm pretty sure that game is at the Diamond. Um,
I'm
and
pulling it
this
up
is the
right
last
now.
year of the Diamond. Did you know that?
Oh, is
The
it? No, I
Flying,
didn't know.
yeah. So the Flying Squirrels are opening a new stadium next year. So okay, Sean,
Uh,
what day is it? I don't. I mean, I can pull it up on my phone,
I'm
but if
pulling it up
you're
right now.
April 8th, so that
April
oh
8th.
man, that's the day. That's the day of my freaking. That's the day of the National Junior Honor Society. So
April 8th at
I
the
will be out.
Diamond. Tuesday,
Oh,
Tuesday. It's got to be Tuesday, April the 8th. I
it's
mean,
Tuesday, April 8th, because that makes sense, because that's the day of the National Junior Honor Society for my son, and then Saturday the 12th is the spring game. So
that's
yeah,
right.
Saturday the 12th is the spring game, and again I'll be unavailable that day as well. So of course the spring game is on television, so I'll be recording it and we'll watch it and talk about it for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up tonight. Hopefully, more news coming later in the week, but we'll have as it comes out, we'll be posting on social media, and we'll be coming back out with another episode soon. We appreciate, once again, we mentioned in the beginning, we hit 300 subscribers, and we appreciate all of you guys. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, you go hit us with a subscribe button, and leave comments. I appreciate Sean and Philip for throwing comments in there tonight. It makes it more fun. We can interact with others. Um, but hopefully, we'll be back later in the week with some big news of some kind. I don't know what.
Yeah, I would like to think it. I'm gonna call some predictions. You're gonna see some breaking stories on interviews for the GM spot. I don't know.
It's not gonna be the Cavalier connection with the
It's not
interviews.
gonna
I
be
can
us.
tell you that.
Yeah,
We're,
not us.
but
But I do
yeah,
anticipate that.
yes. So definitely check them all out and support. Well, thanks for everyone who tuned in tonight, and we will see everybody later in the week. Go Hoos!
Woohoo's.